Ladies and gentlemen, this video is now in session. Obi-Wan362, Gamer Law presiding, and welcome back to more Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. Before we start off, to those of you watching this the day of upload, Happy Star Wars Day. To those of you not watching, well, may the 4th be with you anyway. Anyway, last time we went searching for our friend Ephemer, and after having no luck, we were directed, hey, it sounded like they were saying Master Ava was in Agrabah. That doesn't sound right to me, but anyway, we headed off to Agrabah to try and get some answers. And so, which is why it's called Answers in Agrabah. Go figure. Anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and dive right on in. I hope for everyone who's watching this on the day of upload that you are having a fantastic Star Wars Day. And if you're not, then I am deeply saddened for your circumstances, because Star Wars Day should be a federal holiday. I firmly believe this to be the case. I have, presumably, by the time this video goes up, if not, then I have failed this city, made batches of 2 different kinds of Star Wars cookies, both Wookiee cookies and Sand Trooper Sandies. I don't know. I think I've told this story before, but so Wookiee cookies. When I was growing up as a kid, I even then I was a super Star Wars nerd, and that's actually where my username comes from. Is one that I had back in, like, I don't know. A friend of mine created it so that I'd have a Neopets account. Like, let that tell you how old the name is. But so with that being said, like, I've always been a huge Star Wars nerd ever since I saw Episode 1. And so growing up, I got a lot of Star Wars stuff from my parents. And one year in particular, Mom got me a Star Wars cookbook, an official Star Wars cookbook, mind you. And I was like, cool. So inside, I don't know if it was in the cookbook or if it was in the magazine I got. Anyway, there's a recipe for Wookiee cookies. And we're like, oh, these sound not too bad. Like, the cookbook is super basic. It's largely made for children, as you could probably expect. But so it was like, well, we're gonna try these recipes. We're gonna try them out. And so we followed the recipe for Wookiee cookies, and I thought we followed it to the letter. But so we made them, and pulled them out of the oven, and just, like, shoved one in our mouth, and it was disgusting. Like, why? Why would somebody make this? This is gross. Ugh. And we swore off ever making those cookies again, because they were terrible, a waste of time, and why would you want to eat something that tastes terrible? And so we were just like, nope, never again. Never again. Until a couple years later, when I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know, I could understand being like, meh, these aren't great, but why would somebody put into a cookbook a recipe that's just flat bad? Like, I don't understand this. So we went, after much prodding, I was able to convince Mom, like, let's try these again. Let's try these again. And so we did. Now, I don't know what we did wrong that first time. No idea. But the second time, man, it's like we had it figured out. Yo, like, everything went exactly how it should, presumably. They came out tasting great. And so to this day, I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if it was supposed to be like a teaspoon of salt and I put in a tablespoon. Like, I'm flat unsure what happened that messed that recipe up. But I thought it was, at the very least, I was like, you know what? Everybody will enjoy this story. This story of Obi's cooking mishaps. But so I picked up my ingredients for my Star Wars Day. I actually had to go do that before I could record this video. Went and picked up my ingredients for my Star Wars Day. I will be cooking a... Oh, it's attack boost too. I don't know why I thought it was attack boost all... Whatever. I picked up my ingredients for Star Wars Day. I'll be making an OP Sea Killer Crunch? I think so. I think that's what it is. Sea Killer Crunch, Wookiee Cookies, and Sand Trooper Sandies for tomorrow, and these shall be delicious. Girlfriend's not a big fan of the Sea Killer Crunch, but you know, it's basically just a catfish that is breaded with rice cereal, aka Rice Krispies, and cornflakes, as well as I forget what else goes into that breading. But I find it rather delicious. I usually spice it up a little bit more than what the recipe does, because the recipe is, you know, while tasty, again, you quickly learn as you look at the book, like, all the recipes in here are geared towards being easier so that children can make them. And there's nothing wrong with that, but as an adult, you start being like, well, this could use a little something something. And so you start trying to tweak it, make it better. But so I had to pick up my catfish fillets for it. I suppose in theory I could try a different fish, because I'm not sure that catfish is the appropriate fish for that, but that's the recipe that I got, so it's what I'm going with. I'm notoriously bad for being like, well, you know, the recipe says. My girlfriend's like, I don't care what the recipe says. Do something original. But the recipe. So, but yeah, though it occurs to me, I'll put those catfish fillets in the fridge. Well, if I die, now you know why. That said, there will probably not be a video for this series tomorrow. Unfortunately, I've got plans for my Star Wars Day evening, and since I have to record these videos a day in advance, I will probably not have time to record this. Hopefully I will, but just wanted to give you guys a heads up that it might not happen, since I wasn't able to tell you guys yesterday, as something came up yesterday suddenly as well. But fear not. Also, yep, man, it's starting to get to the point where we're just going to have to increase storage. I don't want to do that. I guess I made all this space of six spots. Excuse me. And still you keep hounding me. Just stop giving me useless medals and just only give me the good ones. Or give me ones that stack. Also, Obi, pick the right blade. There you go, Obi. But yeah, so Just curious if any of you celebrate the wondrous holiday that is Star Wars Day. And if you don't, how dare you? How dare you? It's not hard to celebrate. You get some stuff together, you munch on it, and you watch Star Wars movies. That's it. If you feel like getting fancy, I have options available. I have things that I could tell you about that you could prepare for your Star Wars day. Most of my celebrating is going to end up happening on Saturday because, well, weekend. And it's just easier that way. But, yeah. Bet you guys didn't know you were coming to the Kingdom Hearts video to hear about Star Wars Day. But hey, it's important. Like, it's funny because, like, my mom is kind of a fan. She's kind of a fan of like all these nerdy things. Like she'll watch Doctor Who with me. She was I have to believe she was the one that was like, oh, let's take our son to go see Star Wars, because like my dad, I love my dad, but he sees sci-fi and he's like, yeah, it's just too weird for me. And I'm like, okay, fine, be that way. Like he's a Western kind of guy. He's a Westerns, and so, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with those movies. But he's just like, yeah, sci-fi's too weird. I'm like, fine, whatever. But so, even he will text me on May the 4th and be like, "May the 4th be with you," and I'm like, good, beautiful. I'm glad Mom told you. But yeah, so this is just what? Gosh dang it! And I didn't. Oh man, I hate when that happens. I hate when you miss an enemy and that's how you don't get your rank. Man. So dumb. But we are in this position in the game where it's like, well, since there's no 0 AP going on, you have a set number of things that you're gonna be able to do in your videos, so haha. And I'm like, thanks, game. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Oh, hi guys. Ow. My spleen. Look, I don't want to hurt you too bad. It's not entirely true. But I am trying to come up with some more good ideas for Star Wars themed dishes. I'd like to do some more inspired by stuff, because my big complaint about most nerdy food is that someone basically said, okay, here, let's just slap another name on it. And it's like, I see a lot of, especially for Star Wars, like there's a lot of Wookiee cookie recipes out there. There's only one official one, but there are a lot of, other Wookiee cookie recipes out there. And my problem with them all is that they tend to be just no bakes. I know some people call them haystacks. That's just what they always tend to be. And they're just like, cause it's furry. And I'm like, okay, but did you do anything different to it, or is it just normal no bake cookie? Because otherwise, you're just taking something that already exists and then slapping a name on it to pretend that it's themed. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. But just to me personally, I'm like, I want something inspired by. I want something that's different and is intentionally different for this purpose. So So yeah, like oh, I was looking, trying to figure out something, and I found I found an article that was published on Star Wars Hyperspace, which was the subscribers only portion of the Star Wars website back in the days, where someone had written up an article that was basically just the menu for Dex's Diner. And I found one guy who had actually taken one of the items on that menu and made it a real thing. He did and he made sure that he went out of his way to make it something new, something different. Now it was a slider, so it was still a little baby sandwich, but he did something different. They made sure to do something different with it. So I was like, okay, in that same vein, I can take something from that list and see what I can do with it. Now, on there was a Basilisk Bellyful Hash. That was what it was called. It's just supposed to be this really hearty breakfast that you have so that you can, because basilisks, you know, they live in a colder climate. The basilisk that ran the diner, he used to be a wrestler. Like, all these things. There's this big hearty breakfast so that you can get started with your day and all this stuff. I was like, okay, I can work with that. And so it gave me the stuff in there. And so I'm like, okay, it's a hash. Hashes are potatoes. So let's start with there. Well, we don't have to do just potato. Oh, no. We're gonna do purple potatoes. Because they actually, part of the thing was, like, there was a description written for that item, and it says, you know, a few of the things that are in it. And so I'm like, okay, I can work with that. And you know people are desperate when they start, like, just making up names. They're like, this has and you can really tell someone's creativity by, like, what they make up the names to be. Because it was like, this has potatoes in it. Yes. And I'm like, really, dude? Potatoes? Is that where we are? Is that how low we've sunk? That you're going with potatoes. Good. Just good job. But so it was, so I'm like, okay, well, let's use something a little different so we can get a different look. We still need potatoes because it's a hash, but let's try purple potatoes. So we found purple potatoes. I'm having to try it this weekend. I'm going to use red onion instead of a normal white onion. Give it a little bit of a sweeter kick. It's supposed to have ground bantha beef. Since we don't have banthas, I'm like, well, regular beef is fine. I'm still trying to figure out what to do about the seasonings on it, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful it's gonna turn out well. No, we tried it once and it was kind of middle of the roadish, but that's because I'm intentionally trying to do not what I normally do for hash, and so I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I spice this up isn't the right word, but how do I, make this tastier, and how do I make it look less gross? Because without good lighting, the purple potatoes just look like brown, and it looks, what the balls is with your hat? Hi, what brings you out here? Huh? You're looking for me? I don't remember who we were looking for, my bad. So you want to know about Master Ava? I can't tell you much, except that I see her around the tower a lot. I don't know how to get inside, but there has to be a way, right? Oh, there does. Return to Daybreak Town and search around the tower for clues. When we go back... Why the balls would we not just... Do we not remember? Is that what happened? Did we lose our memory? Because we found a path that we were going to try. And now it's just gone, apparently. It's just gone. The path is sealed. But yeah, so... In the same vein, like, I'm hoping that I can figure... I'm hoping I can figure out how to make that recipe turn out how I want it to, because currently, unless you're under, like, a white light, you can't tell that it's purple. Like, once it's under a white light, like, it's a very deep purple, and it actually looks pretty cool. But it's not otherwise it just kind of looks gray and gross. But so I need to try and figure out what I'm going to be doing about that. I've only used that Kyrie like 3 times this, and watch that it still somehow ends up being the thumbnail. But so like I gotta figure out how I'm gonna make that more visually appealing, especially when I'm looking at having fried potatoes, ground beef, which I know is super sexy. It's the sexiest of meats. And red onions, which once red onions are cooked, they turn this kind of ugly gray color too. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do about this. It's just gonna look gross unless it's under a white light. That's my only shot here. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it turns out alright. Now that you guys have heard me ramble about this Star Wars hash that's gonna be coming, you know, I hope you're all of you are just drooling at the mouth or have good ideas. I don't know. Some of you might be great cooks out there. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Especially because I'm out of AP, so I guess we're done. That's the only thing about these 0 AP events is that, like, it makes these videos the length I expected them to be, which was somewhere around 20 minutes tops. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you all for watching this. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, then by all means, do feel free to hit the like button. Of course, if you dislike this video for whatever reason, the dislike button is right there as well. Comments are always appreciated, but should be kept spoiler free. Next time on Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, we'll be going back to Daybreak Town, as we already did, and we'll be continuing to search for clues as to how to get in that stupid tower. But again, thank you for watching. May the 4th be with you. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this video is adjourned.